Hey there. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be around the world. Ali here with a new scenery, a new background, and definitely a new me. Boy, I intentionally have taken the last probably 6 weeks off from all traditional income producing activities, and I broke my own rules. And I just had a moment where I said, screw it. And for many reasons. And by the way, I'm going to talk to you today about how you can come up with the right price for your offer, whether it's virtual or product or whatever the case may be. But it's only fair to kind of put things in a little bit of perspective. So if you are here for the very first time, let me know where you're chiming in from. If you're an entrepreneur, definitely drop a number one. If you are hoping to become an entrepreneur one day, drop a number two because you're welcome here as well. So I had a season of weirdness over the last really 3 months, and part of it, we were selling a house, buying a house, had a lot of realtors, or as I like to call them, co-creators. Right? It was realtors, brokers, lawyers, and other parties that normally are never part of my day-to-day conversations, day-to-day activity, and including their stress also came in the mix as well, and it threw a lot of me out of alignment. In other words, I protect my circle, I protect my aura, I protect my energy. I don't let just anybody be around. Um, because it only takes one person to say the wrong thing or put the wrong vibe towards you to throw off your day. Well, after a while and after a lot of anxiety and craziness that was coming from the purchasing of the home and what have you, I've come to a little bit of a breaking point where I kind of like started to feel tired of people and their BS, laziness, malicious activities. People will call and Ali, we love you, want you to work with us. And really what they're saying is, we know you can build a company for us, or you can build a project for us, or you can refer us to other people, or whatever the case may be. So I said, I'm just gonna say screw it and keep it PG-13 in here. But I was like, screw it. I'm not going to adhere or give myself up to somebody else's um, agenda that is good for them. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but they weren't necessarily just as invested in having us in a win-win situation. And I'm not talking about any our clients, thank God, our colleagues from work, our partners, they're amazing. I'm not talking about none of the above. This is more of like a personal side of things. I became a an attractive coin piece for many individuals, where they see Ali, they see money, and when they talk to him, oh, he's gonna make us money, and we're gonna make money off of him. And I started to kind of gather more and more clarity as to, why are there horrible people in the world, but that's just the way that we live in, and I needed to exclude myself from that in order to create the best version of me. So I say all that to say, just protect your aura, protect your mindset, protect your circle. Don't let anybody in your circle. And I don't give a damn anymore. If anybody wants to get offended about anything that I say or do, I am going to be me, no pun intended, not just for the ME brand, but I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with who I've become. I'm loving this new me. I love my relationship with my wife and our kids. I love my relationship with my siblings and my blood family and our in-laws. I just have the best family around. And I'm no longer going to put myself in a position that I have to compromise my mental health, my well-being, my happiness, because I want for other parties to do things the proper way, or for other people to be doing their work, or whatever the case may be. I am just going to do the right thing, selfishly speaking, for us first. Now, some are going to hear this and be like, uh-oh, what do you mean selfishly speaking for us first? Well, if I'm not okay, I can't give you the best version of me. I have thousands and tens of thousands of people across the globe that are dependent on my best version of me to be able to teach, to train. And, when I talk to people and I train about mindset, I'm always letting everybody know, like, sometimes you need to take a break. Sometimes you need to unplug. I haven't unplugged in forever. So it kind of got forced onto me, where I just started to hate showing up to certain things, or getting on a phone call with certain people. And and that's not the best version of me. So if I don't take care of me selfishly first, how can I be taking care of anybody or you? So that's gonna be it. The other thing is I've realized as the years have gone, my confidence was out of whack in many years, for the simple fact that I allowed other people to make me feel as if I wasn't valuable enough, or I'm a subordinate, or I am still in the B league instead of the A+ league. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready to tear it apart. I don't remember the movie that it's from, but I do know the clip where the actor tells a poker player or a pool player, "Hey, in many cases, there's a lion in the jungle, and there's the hyenas and the monkeys and the jackals. They're pulling the lion's ears and the tail, and messing with the lion over and over and over, and the lion just letting them. And the more the lion lets them, the closer they get to take advantage and eat out of his prey. And then one day the lion just woke up and started tearing things apart, just tore them all out, went ferocious, killing left and right. I found myself in that place a week ago, where I was like, I'm about to tear through everything and everyone. And that was my alarm clock saying, you need to relax, you need to unplug, you need to be happy again. So the lion is here, and I'm ready to bite. I'm not going to hurt anybody, but I'm definitely going to do whatever it takes to honor my well-being first, because I realize that is the ultimate source of happiness for me, and therefore I can pass it on to you. Ultimate resourcefulness for me, and therefore I can pass it on to you. So I just cannot put myself in a situation, and I'm infamous my whole life since I was a child. I was always the pleaser. I will literally compromise my well-being. I remember at one point, it's like 7 years ago, what have you, before the business life became what it is today. I didn't pay my mortgage for like 6 months or whatever it was, like almost 8 months probably, to give my family money, to invest on family businesses, to help other people that weren't even family. And I got to work on that. I can't hurt myself or my well-being or my family just to please everybody else. I get people all day long. Hey, Ali, can you just help me out? Freebie webinars, freebie for the team, freebie conference call. I love to give, and I will forever do the freebies, but it's going to have to come within reasons. It's got to be a win-win, right? Like, all right, cool. You want me to come and give you a $5,000 training for your team to hook you up. What is the return on that? How are we creating a win-win? So this is prepping for how to price your offer, because if you don't understand your value, you will never be able to price your hourly rate or the product that you're creating the proper way. So let's get into the training. Let me know where you're chiming in from, because I definitely want to connect with you. And please, if we're not connecting, just unfriend us, unfollow. And I know that's, again, unpopular, but I don't care anymore, because I've had a conversation with somebody that they literally are copying everything that I'm doing every single day. This person watches every one of my videos, is in the podcast, does it, and told me on a Zoom to my face, hey, man, like you've helped me my whole career. I'm like, I've never worked with you once. What are you talking about? Like, oh, I take everything that you do and I just duplicate it, and the joke was, I just R&D it, rob and duplicate, not research and development. And man, I was like, wow, that's good to know. And I've done a lot of freebies and gave a lot of documents and processes and my DMOs and everything to this individual. And I'm not mad at it. And that's the whole point of me putting content out to the world. So that's my contribution, right? But at the same time, it made me more aware, like, wow, here's somebody who's selling you to your face. I came to your restaurant, I ate your food, and I didn't even pay for it. I didn't even tip. I didn't even clean up my own table. I just walked away. So I have to be more protective on that. Okay, so let's talk about how to price your offer the proper way. Let me know in the comment, what product or what service do you offer personally? And I'm not talking about network marketing in here. I'm talking about you personally providing an offer, your own company, your own solopreneur journey, right? So let's say you are a coach, and this conversation was inspired by Takoy Carlton that I spoke to this morning, Vanessa Jackson that I spoke to on Friday and on Saturday, I believe. And, we were talking about how do we price our offer, like their offer. And the answer that I get from everybody all the time, oh, it doesn't cost me anything. It's only my time. Oh, well, rather, my question that I ask them, well, what is your cost of goods? Right? Like in any business, you have to identify your cost of goods in order to identify the profit, in order to identify the margins, in order to identify the budgets, in order to identify cost of acquisition. There's a whole list of things, right? Building a business is not just being a network marketer and doing circles and saying, sign up in my replicator website. There's a lot to it. So in order to identify your cost of goods, if you are a coach or a mentor, you're exchanging your time for that hourly rate. Here's what I want you to do. You are no longer to identify your offer with time, but rather imagine yourself as a product. In other words, my 1 hour that I'm going to work with somebody, I used to think, well, it's only costing me time, so whatever I make is going to my pocket. That is mediocre, broke thinking, right? Here is business Fortune 100 thinking. This Ali Medawi 1 hour is a product. So therefore, if I were to hire somebody else in the level of an Ali Medawi or better, what would I pay that person to deliver that service, that 1 hourly service to that prospect that I'm talking to right now? So let's just come up with a number. Let's call it $100, right? Just make something up to make the numbers easy. So it costs me $100 that I'm going to pay this person that's going to deliver this service to a prospect, right? Or a client in this case. Is no different than me creating or selling a Yeti, right? Like there's a cost of goods. This may cost $20 to $25, and okay, that's what it costs me. So I can't sell it for $25 and say, oh, it was only in my closet or in my cabinet or whatever. No, I have to identify what did I spend on this, and then therefore what are going to be my margins and what are other costs that are around it. So there's some water in it. So that may be a little bit of cost right there, right? I washed it before. Soap, that may be some cost there. Maybe driving to delivering it, that may be cost in there. You have to identify all of that dollar amount, or maybe even pennies. Put it all together, and that's going to give you a cost of goods. For my time, you can go about it different ways, right? You can look at other individuals who are in your space and what they are charging, and then at the same exact time, identify what else is going. Am I driving to the person? Is this a seminar? Is this a webinar? Am I spending time on my money on my StreamYard? Am I spending money on Zoom? Do I have to buy green screens? Do I have to turn on lights? Am I using Wi-Fi? All these different things go into the cost of goods. So let's just say, again, that cost of good of that human being that I'm paying $100 to train and coach one of my clients, right? So now I am $100 out. So even if you give me 100, I'm not making any profit. That's not the point in here. We're not a nonprofit organization. So therefore, I have to identify, what do I want to make on top of that cost of goods? What is my margin? So let's just say the margin is 50%. That's a healthy margin. Okay. So let's say with all of the cost of goods of everything that has to do with that 1 hour, that one person that's going to train my client that I'm paying them, I want to charge $150. So $100 goes into the cost of goods. $50 is my profit. If you are thinking with that mindset of it doesn't cost me anything, it's only time, you're thinking the broke version. You will never make it in the big league. You may make some money, but I promise you, you will find at the end of the week, why am I working harder and still have no money in my pocket? That's because it only costs you time. It doesn't cost you anything. But if it were to actually cost you real serious money, you start charging real serious fees. And when I usually get into this phase of charging serious fees, there's two things that happen. Number one, people worry, well, I'm competing with such and such, or there's other people who charge less than me. Well, who cares? Rolls-Royce is more expensive than Toyota, right? The value is the differentiator of the cost, not the actual dollar amount. On the other side of that, well, then you need to step the hell up. Give value. Go out of your way. Don't just satisfy your customer. I don't want to satisfy you. I want to wow you. I want to make you feel like the best thing that's ever happened to you, right? Now, what you really are competing with is YouTube. It's free content. So what do I have to do to be relevant when it's time to charge? I have to inundate every channel that I can. Think of Grant Cardone. You see him everywhere. Think of Gary Vee. You see him everywhere. Think of Bernard Burchard. Think of Les Brown. Think of, I mean, any name I can name. They are everywhere all the time. So when it's time to charge, you, the prospect, feel like I have gotten so much from Gary Vee that he earned the right for me to pay him $100 for a seminar or webinar or process or whatever it may be. Although Gary Vee, that's not his model, but I'm just sharing with you. So it really, 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 really comes down to identifying your cost of goods, and don't think of yourself as a person, rather an hourly product if you are a coach. Number two, back it up with ridiculous value. And if you don't feel like you have value, you're right. That means you need to read more, study more, work on your craft. The difference between those who make it in the big league with those who don't is not how many followers they have or how good are they marketing. Well, marketing really has a lot to do with it, but it's just a matter of they worked a lot harder on being a value asset to all of their counterparts than most. It is not enough for me to just show up in here and do a live. It's not. This live is going to be cut up by the team and it's going to be spreading in different channels. This is just my contribution to you. And in many cases, I know you're probably watching this and you're like, oh, good to know. Good to know. I don't have to spend money. Mediocre mindset, broke mindset. Stop thinking like that. It isn't about, like, I don't go to YouTube and say, oh, let me see if I can get something from John C. Maxwell and just repeat it verbatim. And no, I study all of these leaders, all of these mentors, all of these greats, and then I put my own perspective on it. I don't have any bullet points in here or anything right now. This is me talking to you based on my process. And why am I able to talk to you about my process? Because I'm not some hype marketing BS artist that's just going to sit in here and copy what everybody's telling you. I'm going to call it a buck. And I'm going to tell you exactly the way it is. You need to stop playing broke. And listen, here's the reality. And this is a fact. I had to learn this the hard way. And many of my mentors told me. See, for somebody who looks like me, I'm not victimizing. This is not a victim mentality. I'm sharing with you a superpower. For someone who is not white in the United States of America, I have to work 3 times as hard in this space to get a third of what a blue-eyed blonde person could get. That's just the reality. I understand it. But it's not a victim mindset. Look at me, feel sorry for me. No. I know the rules of the game. So I'm going to work 3 times as hard. Although you may say, well, that's not fair. I don't give a damn what fair is. I know my reality, my time, space reality. I'm in control of it. So I'm going to work 3 times as hard. While it may look like it is a third. Nah, it's building momentum. It'll catch up eventually. People who look like me don't have the initial invite to mega platforms. We demand it. And we make our own platforms. I love it when E.T. the hip hop preacher said it best. He's like, I don't need a chair on your table. I'm building my own. And that's what Ali Madawi is. I know who my audience is. I know what my value is. I know what my price, cost of goods are. I know what our margins are. We entered in so many spaces right now. We are in PR, funding, social media management, business development, consulting for corporations, event coordination. I can go on and on and on. We provide it all. We do it all. And we've put together one of the best teams. And I'm really, really grateful for some of our clients, well, actually all of our clients, but just to mention, I'm grateful for our colleagues. I'm grateful to be part of this journey, with Debbie and Billy Salmons. Love you guys. If you're watching this, you've been some of the best partners to collaborate with. Takoya Carlton, Elizabeth Cousins, and I Am Dreamable. Economy, or EA Economy to be specific, so you know what I'm referring to. Giving me the opportunity to run the journey with you and build the best trading and educational platform in the world right now in 50 plus countries. I'm just grateful, and I will no longer put myself in a position that I did over the last 6 weeks where I was getting overwhelmed with negative, ugly mofos. I'm done. I am so happy. I am grateful. I worked on myself. I broke all my own rules because for the sake of well-being and mental health, I'll do anything. And I felt like I was losing it a little bit. So I hope that you've picked up a thing or two. And if you are somebody who watched this from beginning to end, let me know. I'd love to send a whole lot of love to you and give you a lot of value privately. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a documentary style series of the Young Entrepreneur Project. What happened? Where is it? What went wrong? I reached out to the former CEO, and I'm going to be reaching out to some of the people who made the move and shaking. That's going to be airing on our subscription channel in Instagram. So that's something that we're working on. And if you're an entrepreneur and you really, really have what it takes, not some BS, wannabe network marketer, and you just talk a good game on from your cell phone from the bathroom. No, I'm talking about legitimate. Want to build $100 million company? We need to talk, and I know I can help. I know I've helped, and I'm no longer going to shy away from my greatness. Not now, but the last company that we consulted for. Many companies really that we consulted for, we've created millions of dollars in our process, and it developed. Now, many won't want to give credit when credit is due. I don't care. But the reality is I'm going to start documenting. Man, I was documenting this weekend so many things that we've done, and I was like I'm a badass. Like I am really, really good at what I do, and I'm not going to shy away from it anymore. And if you belong to the tribe, awesome, man. Let's talk. If you don't, love you. There's this little button. It's called unfriend, unfollow, remove connection, unsubscribe, whatever you are. Please just remove it. My stuff is too good and too expensive for you to just take advantage and show hate. But I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm in love. Yeah, I'm just excited about the next chapter. So anyways, price yourself with value. The worst thing you can do is cheapen your offer because you're thinking, they're going to spend money on it. No, when you do that, you're developing a habit. Now they're walking around telling everybody, he's so cheap. He even gave me a $20 discount. He's so cheap. Yeah, don't do that to yourself. That's the worst thing you can do. So Ali Madawi and Madawi Enterprise, we're about to take over, and I'm about to really disrupt intentionally. I'm about to piss some people off intentionally with love. I'm no longer going to play shy. I'm no longer going to hold back. I've had a lot of my direct mentors that worked with me over the last 6 weeks. And I will honor what I learned. I will honor what we talked about. And I hope you're ready, because this is going to be a fun ride for me. I'm polished and I'm nice, but I've been an avatar all this time. I've been just talking through this body that's been working on developing the well-educated, well-spoken, well-thought-out Ali Madawi, and that's going to stay. But I'm also going to be me. I don't want to be anybody else. I don't want to have to force a persona in order to compete with a world that is designed to just take out of my plate and not put anything into it. So yeah, it's a new day. I'm excited. All right, I love you. And even if we are in business or not in business together, anything you need, I'm always available. And now we have a whole team, VAs and so many more that will cater to you right away. So I love you. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.